Welcome to your host, Dr. Jane Mountrose, and I'm thrilled today to have my friend and co-host Gretchen Comer with me. We've been missing her for a while with internet problems, but she's back, so we're really happy. Anyhow, we're holistic coaches, healers, and guides who love to reach into the vast realms of spirit to enrich our lives and open to more love and light for our troubled world. So this week we're going to tap into the value of the things we appreciate most about life. And it's something really to think about. But as we celebrate the blessings of the harvest with the autumn season, this is also a time to focus on life itself and the many blessings it offers, because I think the more we appreciate its blessings and the more we understand what we want from it, the better it can be. It's mysterious, it's mystical, and potentially miraculous. It is for some and not for others. And every one of us experiences life in a unique way, which is a beauty of it too. Being human has different meaning, obviously, for different people, and we all have equal opportunity to make the most of it, to live fully, to grow, to do something meaningful while we're here, and more. So I hope you'll stay with us and we'll see where this takes us. As usual, we don't have any kind of a scripted plan. We're going to be here having a conversation and inviting an archangel to join us to offer their blessings, maybe another card. As always, also we'll have a special meditation drawn from the experience that we have as we move forward now. So before we begin, I do want to thank you for joining us and being emissaries of love and light for the world. I think it's one of the most important things that we can do, to stand up as beacons of love and light and to envision the world that we want to create, not the one that is. So anyhow, I wanted also to remind you, wherever you are, I have a chat here somewhere. I lost it. I wanted you to make sure that you have an opportunity to say hello and share your insights, comments, questions, whatever. I see Sharon's here. Hey, Sharon. I just visited with Sharon the other day, so that was really fun. A beautiful fall day. So one more thing before we start, which we always do also, is just to close your eyes if you're in a place where it's safe to do so, and if you feel guided to. And just breathe. Just taking in the most wonderful breaths for you, whatever that is, relaxing, invigorating, mystical, magical, angelic. And what this does is brings us more in our bodies and less in our heads, so we can be present to our time together and appreciate it. Okay, so with that, I want to turn to you, Gretchen, and have you start out sharing some of your perspective on this, on appreciating
Absolutely.
life.
Absolutely. So this is such a beautiful topic for this time of year too. I know that you all have been talking about gratitude in the circles of love and light, and I was thinking about this today. And gratitude is a component of appreciation. It often when we're expressing gratitude, feeling gratitude, it often can lead to appreciation. And so to me, appreciation becomes like a study of gratitude on some level. It helps you expand out. And by thinking more expansively, I feel more expansive. So if I'm thinking about appreciation, right. So it has this beautiful kind of domino effect, because the more I think about appreciation, there's so many levels. I was thinking today, we've had drought conditions in my area, and we depend on well water, and we have no water.
Oh.
And so we have a friend of ours that said, oh, we've got a deep well, come fill up. So my husband went out and filled up some big containers and put it into our cistern. And I was thinking to myself, I'm so grateful to have water. It's such a simple thing. It's a life necessity. But when I'm thinking about that gratitude, I'm not just thankful for the water. I develop an appreciation for where that water came from, the effort it took to get into my cistern, all of the beautiful cloud beings that made the water, all the things in nature that had to culminate essentially to create that water that I am using now. So when we think about when we're grateful for something and we start to think about appreciation, I feel like it leads us down this road of expansiveness where I started to think, oh, well, it's not just my husband going to my friend's house to get the water. It's about what took place to get the water into their well, what had to happen in order
Mm-hmm.
for all of that to come to be and come to pass. And so for me, it really helps me expand out into my thinking more, and it allows me to become even more expansive in my thinking, because if I'm not going to stop there, okay, what else am I grateful for? And so the more that I can expand out into that appreciation, that energy, it grows with you as well. It's kind of like love energy. It just grows exponentially the more that you put energy towards it and call it in. So for me, appreciation is like a study of gratitude, and those multi layers that go along with it. So it's been beautiful to think about.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, there's so many facets to it in so many different ways that, well, like I said, we're all so unique and have different perspectives on everything. Um, Something to me that has been, and this relates to what you were just talking about water, pretty basic need. Um, I've come to really appreciate challenges in a way that I didn't earlier in life, recognizing that the challenges that we face are always opportunities to grow, and there's something to be gained from them.
Mhm.
It doesn't, and to me, I think it's important to set aside the idea that, well, God's punishing me or whatever. It's
Mhm.
not ever that we've done anything wrong per se. It's that this is going to help us to move, maybe if we're off course, to get on course a little more, or if we're on course but aren't moving forward because something needs to be recognized to open new doorways for us. um, it's always something positive. And I think if we look for the positive in it, it comes out more positively too. That's my personal perspective and what I've witnessed and experienced. So
Right.
life can be, I mean, it goes back to that thing, you can see yourself as a victim of all these horrible things that are happening, or as a creator,
Mhm.
and you're in the in the works, kind of a creator that's just moving forward and actually battling sometimes some foes within yourself, and potentially even foes that exist outside of you. So it is, to me, it is magical and miraculous, and I think that's what I choose.
Mhm. Yeah, I think that's important, what you said at the beginning about, kind of getting over the fact that this is not a punishment. I think once we can start seeing life that way, okay, asking, what if this isn't a punishment? What if this is an opportunity? And I think that's important because when we're in the thick of things, we're not always, the best at that. We may feel like life is really, hard or challenging, and you can get into that kind of rut or trench that you create with that line of thinking. And
Mm.
as we so often refer to, we don't want to be in that muck. We don't want to be in that mud. We don't want to be in that mire, get mired down in all of that. And it can be kind of a vicious cycle. And gratitude and appreciation will actually help pull you back out of that.
Hmm.
If you can stop and pause and just think of one thing in those really challenging times that you're grateful for, it's like a step forward, and it can become almost a bridge of sorts to get
Mm-hmm.
to that level of appreciation. Because when we're feeling punished, we're not feeling very appreciative. So if we can get
Right.
over that, like you said, I think that helps a lot. And it brings us back to that positivity that you're speaking about too. It's so important.
Mm-hmm. Right. And perception of self, because if we think we're being punished, we're seeing ourselves as victims
Right,
in some way.
right,
And
right.
it's very important for us to recognize that within us, there are many parts of us. Um, the deepest part of us is the magnificence of who we are that resides in our hearts. That actually, the soul, you could say, or just that higher self awareness that we hold there. And it is us. We're all creators. We're all creators because the creator resides in us. And I think that's really important. It's a very important distinction when you look at the people. It's like a plague in the United States now, and it's a way to trap people too,
Hmm.
to tell them they're victims, to tell them they're powerless, to tell them
Hmm.
you're the only one who can save them. All of that it's a ploy,
Right,
but we don't have to follow, or we don't have to fall for it either. We can stand
right.
up as the empowered beings who we really are.
Right, right. And I mean that is part of the challenge, but once we can see that it's applicable, I think to everything in life, it's not restricted to one area of life where you can apply appreciation in different ways. And like you had a very different perspective that when I was thinking about appreciation. And I think that's beautiful because it shows just how expansive and diversified appreciation can really be for us, and
Mm-hmm.
how it's always that continuing energy. To me, appreciation feels like being appreciative, and appreciation feels like an energy that continues. It's not um, like gratitude is kind of the start of that for me, but it's not a one-off thing. Like I'm grateful for the day I've had, and then you don't think about it again because you have a new day the next day. It's actually appreciation is a broader, to me, a broader scale, and like I said, very expansive way of thinking. So
Mm-hmm.
for me, it feels like it's just the energy that just perpetuates and continues the more that we can add to it. The more that we
Right.
appreciate, the more compassion we end up having, not just for ourselves, but for the world around us. We start to really expand out thinking about where all these things come from that we are grateful for, we do have a broader sense of compassion and love for the world around us,
Mm-hmm.
and can help us see more clarity, I think, on a lot of things too, how much further we get in life with kindness and gentleness, than we do with that lower vibrational kind of forcing energy in life. So
Mm-hmm. Right.
yeah,
In the flow.
in the flow, right?
Right.
Exactly.
And Babs
Right.
is here. Speaking of flow, hi Babs. Great to see you. And to expand it out a little more, we can also be appreciative of the all of the beings of light who are around us, who are also available to support us in ways that we might not even know we can be supported, which is
Hmm.
interesting. Because just because we're creators doesn't mean that we don't need anything else or anyone else or any of these magnificent beings. We do, because everything is connected,
Hmm.
and it's about taking advantage of that connectedness too. So I'm going to draw a card. This Bab says, in the flow with grace and ease. I think, yeah, flow is such a wonderful word. Well, it just makes everything sound so much easier. Like if it's flowing, rather
Yes,
than
it
just
does.
kind of stuck. So lately, I've, with drawing cards, I have enjoyed just fanning the deck out on the table and picking one. I don't know why that I just started doing this recently, and I find it very interesting. So we're wanting to have an archangel join us to enhance our experience together today, and maybe have something special to offer us too. So actually, this is interesting. This deck of cards that I have, this one here, the female archangels, it has 36 cards, I think it is, that are, or 40 cards that are archangels, and then there are 4 cards that are not archangels. I drew the one of the ones that are not an archangel, but it's interesting. It says ancestry, and I think I'll draw another one to get an archangel. Ancestry, heal at the root. That's interesting. And I'm going to draw another card for an archangel who might help us to understand that one. So this one is Archangel Cassiel. Face fear and rise. It's a beautiful angel.
Ooh, that's nice. The yin and the yang. Love that.
And I think I think maybe I'll read a little bit about ancestry, and then just so we have an idea of what this is. This is interesting. Ancestral patterns are ready to be healed and released. And what that makes me think of is the ones that are holding us in limitation.
The mass consciousness.
We might even do an ancestral healing today to support the consciousness of humanity. To raise, you came to Earth as a conscious code breaker. Before incarnating, you decided what you were going to heal within your family's DNA to bring freedom into your past, parallel, and future genealogy. You may be the only one in your family who is consciously aware of the bigger picture. Yet take heart in knowing that never have there been so many angels rousing, that's R-O-U-S-I-N-G, rousing the ready sleeping beauties. The global awakening is happening, but it takes time, etc. There's a little more, but I think that gives us the idea, and we'll see how Cassiel can support us with this. These are also, it's a female archangel deck. There are pairings, and I could even go into the whole pairing of this one. Cassiel, and this is the masculine aspect of this one, masculine angel. It says, the angel message is, you are unstoppable. Transform any self-talk that says otherwise. Live and lead without fear. Archangel Cassiel, whose name reflects divine speed, serves on the ray of transcendence and potential alongside his counterpart, Archaea Serenity. Cassiel, being an angel of solitude, observes Earth without interfering as he honors the contrast of life for the growth it brings. In this way, he reflects more uncomfortable truths. He's stepping forward to help you love and bring into wholeness the parts of you that feel are dense, that the parts of you that you feel are dense, negative, or dark. It's interesting, that takes us back to the ancestry thing. While duality can help you master the physical life experience, you decide which experiences you want to learn from. Cassiel adds, life is your teacher. We are just your guides. That's kind of beautiful.
It's beautiful.
So I'm going to read about Serenity. That's beautiful too. The Archangel Archaea, they call them Archaea, Archeia for the female archangels. So Archaea Serenity, this is interesting. Her quote here is, weave a new story. Change your life story. Create a new chapter instead of rereading the previous one. Archaea Serenity, whose name is derived from the Latin something, meaning clearness, serves on the ray of transcendence and potential with her counterpart, Archangel Cassiel. Serenity also, well, that doesn't matter, reminds us that softness is a strength. Being soft helps us lessen our defenses so that we can find balance during difficult times. While Cassiel escorts us through fear, Serenity is our anchor point. That's interesting. She helps us turn challenges into triumphs by revealing the underlying gift of all situations. That's a great key for appreciation, is recognizing that there are always gifts in situations. Ask serenity to transform any mental stories of unworthiness and victimhood you may be carrying, etc. That's
Beautiful.
interesting. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's really taking us deep into this idea of appreciation, and it seems like clearing those kinds of things that hold us back from doing that.
Right. It's interesting. You said something about softness too, because I had just mentioned, we get a lot further in life with the kindness and softness and that gentleness. People, I think, underestimate just how much power those beautiful qualities really have, and how much they affect people positively. So that's just beautiful.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, and it is, I think, one of the things I really appreciate about this deck, which is actually female and male archangels, is that it does have that balance and shows the value of the feminine side, which even with the archangels, we haven't been exposed that much to the feminine side. We have some, but this is the most direct one that I've seen, and I really appreciate having both sides of the story.
Right. I think what you said too about, write a new chapter. Don't have to base it on previous chapters. I think that's important too, and it ties back to the first card you chose about letting go some of that ancestral lineage that we have and some of that inheritance that we have. And change the story, in this lifetime. This is what you're born to do, change the story. So I think that's beautiful. It's a beautiful reminder that we don't have to perpetuate some of the negative things of the mass consciousness that our ancestors struggled with. We don't have to continue to struggle with that. We can break out of that prison, so to speak. It becomes kind of a prison.
Right. And we have to. It is that it really points to how important your perspective. I'm looking down because I'm trying to find the other card here. It is for each of us, it's our responsibility to see when we're stuck in perspectives that are limiting us. Because it is harder if we believe in them, if we believe, well, I'm a victim to this, then we can't appreciate life in the way that we can when we realize, well, when we face things like this, the intention is that we can overcome them, and to show us that we do have the strength to be able to do that.
Right.
Interesting. I went through all of the almost. I had like 3 cards left in the deck before I came to Archaea Serenity, and she's very beautiful too.
Oh, that is beautiful. Yeah.
Yeah, these are very sparkly angelic cards. And I see that Heather Collins is here. Welcome. She says, this is really inspiring. I'm glad it is. And it is, I think it's interesting when we go into oracles the way that we do. Also, I don't think either of us were expecting it to go in the direction it has gone in. But I think that's, if we're talking about appreciating life, we really have to understand that there are aspects of the self that need to be cleared, or just those limiting beliefs and limiting perspectives that we have received from our ancestors and our own experiences in childhood, etc., that have caused us to believe that we're limited, and believe that maybe that we're victims. And of course we are when we're children. So there is that aspect of it too. It's not that straightforward, just like, well, you don't have to believe this anymore. It's a journey.
Right. You can use that as an indicator too. If you're starting to feel like you're a victim, that's a good place to say, why do I feel like this? Why do I feel like a victim? What has led me to feel like this? What is it? What is the set of circumstances? And if we can being aware of it, I think when that starts to happen, when we start to kind of go down that road, we can stop it. You know, we can use it as a way to explore and make it into an opportunity, rather than just feeling that like you're walking down that same road again. Oh, here I go again. This always happens to me. You know, I have friends like that. This always happens to me, you know.
Right. Yeah.
Like, well,
Woe is
that's
me.
yeah, I mean, I'm thinking, well, that's kind of what you're always saying too. So, you know, we want to make sure that we're using those as like markers, as indicators to help us shift our thinking.
Hmm.
You know, if we can do it in the moment and bring about that awareness. So,
Hmm.
yeah.
Right. Well, and I think personally, I think it is true. Things do recur,
Hmm.
and Gretchen and I have talked about this quite a bit. And I think we talk about it here too quite often. That um, the way that I understand it, we have a specific area that we're focused on spiritually on overcoming. Uh, for me, it's and it is represented in one of the chakras. It's the fifth chakra expression, and probably for Gretchen too, isn't it?
Hmm. Hmm.
Yeah, makes sense. Here we are. Anyhow, uh, we have that, which is so it is a strong pattern, and that weaves through everything. So you keep seeing it. And then I more recently have felt that we also have a pattern that might be even stronger, that has woven through this whole cycle of lives that we're in, all the way from the very beginning. Like, what was the cause of the fall for us? Like, how did it happen that we fell?
Hmm.
Um, and usually there is just one specific thing that stands out, or at least that's what I found. You can tell me when I'm done, Gretchen, if you've had this experience or not. I think I have that. When I go through my past lives, there's a huge pattern of betrayal.
Hmm.
Betrayal and being burned at the stake, betrayal and having my head cut off,
Hmm.
just all of these kinds of, and numerous ways we can be betrayed. Um, and I feel now that that is an area that I need to continue to explore until it's done. I don't feel that it's completely done, but I think just even being aware of it is helpful.
Hmm.
So I'm curious if you have had a similar perception at all about that.
Yeah, the betrayal is more of a more recent understanding for me in studying some of my past lives. But one of the biggest things has been stifling my expression. I have several lifetimes where I've been hung or suffocated in some way. It's always to do with the throat chakra,
Mm-hmm.
and somehow learned that it was a bad thing to express your opinion freely, that it was
Dangerous.
dangerous, right? That it would end in death. And I think
Yeah.
that's I was a real shy wallflower child, you know, and was often told, speak up, you know, and it took a lot of years to come out of that. But yeah, I think that's one of my common things too that I can really relate to is our expression. And part of that expression is really understanding who you are as well. It's not just outward expression, but it's an inward relationship with your true self, your higher self. And
Mm-hmm.
so I think when that's stifled, you know, and that's oppressed, I think it can cause a lot of problems. And so I feel like this is part of my journey in this lifetime. And as a result, I'm very talkative now. But I've also attracted the right relationships and people that can help nurture that too. So
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. Me too. I was
And I have
very
an
shy.
appreciation for that. So
Right.
deep
Yeah.
appreciation for that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And if you're out there and you're thinking, well, gee, I wonder what that is for me. Just think of things that keep have continued to recur
Mhm.
throughout your life, and it also is your your greatest gifts blossom as you clear it, which
Yeah.
is the other part. You can really appreciate, and that's how you can really appreciate challenges, I think, because if you overcome them, then so much more of you is present to be
Right.
able to, in our case, for both of us, to be able to express ourselves as our soul's purpose, um, and to live fully, to be able to be, to be able to be in your body without feeling like you have to back off for whatever reason. So it's interesting to think about, because if you think of it in relation to all the chakras, it might one might stand out somewhere.
Right.
And I think that is fascinating in itself.
Yeah, that really is fascinating. It's an interesting journey that you can go on and have a lot of healing come out of that. So I think it's always such a blessing. Such a blessing.
Right. Yeah. So you ready for the meditation?
I am. Yes.
So what I'm thinking is we can imagine going to the spiritual path. That's what we'll do. And then we can do an ancestral clearing. Just imagine going back through time, and with the support of all of the beings of light who are available to us. There are many, you could say, for each of us, our own spiritual family of souls, or spiritual support team, however you describe it, of angels, archangels, enlightened masters, and even elemental beings. There are elemental spirits around us too. So we'll go and see what happens. So we'll start, as always, with closing our eyes, if that's possible for you and safe in this moment. And going back to breathing, and breathing in the most wondrous light available to you. Because what we want to do is bring out that brightness in us. So breathing in light. And then exhaling anything that is not light, anything that you can release now to be more present in your body. Taking those beautiful breaths. You can send the breath to places in your body where you might be noticing tension. And you can send it into your mind, asking for your thoughts to clear for now, we can't necessarily ask them to be gone completely, but just to relax. Ask your mind to relax for a bit. And all those thoughts that want to express themselves, they can come back later when you're done and say what they want to say. Now we want to just be in this experience. Also asking any energy that is not your own to leave your space, your field. Sending it back lovingly where it came from, other times, other people, other places. And asking for all of your own energy that's left with other times, other people, and other places to come back to you. And then just notice what you feel now about being present and being in your body for this experience. So we're going to open to the love in our hearts as our guides on this journey. And we'll invite in Archangel Michael to protect us, since we're going back through ancestral wounds. And I also feel guided to invite Archangel Metatron, who is such a beautiful guide. And actually, he's the archangel who is the holder of the Akashic records. So that might be relevant here too, as we go back into our past to go through those things that need to be healed, to have him guide us. And we may not need to consciously become aware of each incident where we need to clear. We're going to do this with our intention and with all of this angelic and higher light being support that we have, and we'll be guided by Archangel Metatron. So with that, we can now just imagine floating into a beautiful mist beyond time and space to take you to your spiritual path somewhere in the higher dimensions. And when you arrive there, the future will be laid out in front of you. You're facing your future, and the past is behind you, extending out into the distance. And with all of this support, Also, we can invite in Archangel Cassiel to help us to face any fears we have, and Archaea's Serenity to help us to weave a new story as we come back forward. So what we're going to do now is just imagine that you can float back into the past, just flowing back as far as is appropriate for you now through lives where you can do some ancestral healing. So just flowing back through your past, you might kind of notice different lives going by if you're aware of them. I'm just seeing different people and different scenes as I move backward. You may go back 5 lives, 10 lives, 100 lives, whatever feels appropriate to you. Back into the past until you arrive at the place where you're going to begin the clearing. And again, embracing all of the power that you have in your heart, the power of the Creator in you. And we're going to be asking Archangel Metatron and all of the other beings of light who are with you to support you, to start sending you back, moving forward. And as you do, just clearing the path ahead of any ancestral wounds that are ready to clear. Kind of like it reminds me of the hero's journey going through, going into the forest and all the dense undergrowth or whatever you call it. Just moving forward through those things. And with the light, just transmuting whatever you can. It reminds me, I feel like Saint Germain is here too with the violet flame. You might be sending the violet flame through all these lives. Just gradually moving forward through time, clearing the path, and which allows you to have more space for yourself, for your own soul's presence as we reach forward back towards the present time. And I feel the most beautiful violet light. With that, most times there is no need to understand what it is that you're clearing, although it's fine if you want to and to stop somewhere at some point, maybe in the future when you have more time and explore. For now, just allowing it to clear, recognizing that you are a creator. You have the ability to change your past. And you may feel that energy, that light clearing, just clearing your field as you're moving forward, and your body, clearing your body of dark areas that might be ready to be healed. Almost back to the present time now. And as we arrive at the present moment again, just notice what it feels like now. We didn't really focus on what it felt like when we started, but to me, it's like there's more light, there's more color, there's more magic. And I'm aware of all of those nature spirits around me on the path who also are here to bring us more joy and love and to support us in recognizing and realizing our full potential, in manifesting the greatness that we are in our reality. And they may have a gift for you, these nature spirits or one of the angels or masters. So just receive whatever that might be. And then send the light that you're feeling out into the future. As far out as you can, send it just all the way out into the future, filling your whole future with more light and love, joy, weaving that new story. Like, what is different if you can release those fears from the past? What is different if you can step into the fullness of yourself rather than feel limited by where you've come from? And we can ask archangels, Archaea Serenity, to support us in weaving that new story of seeing that fall into place in the future. And this is how we actually can change our history. We can change our future by opening to more of our greatness, to clear some of the things that have been holding us back. It changes our whole path. So you can just look forward to what is there for you, and something might stand out, maybe a message for you about what is possible for you ahead, what is awaiting you. And with all of these beings of light around us, we want to express our gratitude to them, of course. And I'd like to ask you, Gretchen, if you'd like to share anything about your experience on the path here.
Right. So I felt that the gift that I was receiving is actually a reminder that's not just for me, but for everyone. And that is, I saw the image of a blooming rose, the ever blooming rose. And that's, to me, is symbolic of like the heart of Mary. And it's like Saint Mary, and also the heart of Mary Magdalene. To me, it's about it's about how we are multi-layered, and how the ever blooming rose is about the eternal love, essentially, that is available to us, that lives within us all the time, and we can just access it. So to me, it felt like it was a reminder from the angels to just remind me that, we have this rose within us, this beautiful ever blooming rose that doesn't wither and die. It's something that's a miracle of itself. And it's like our tie into the divine feminine. To me, it represents the divine feminine energy of softness and gentleness. But it doesn't mean passivity. It doesn't mean that we are meek or ineffectual in any way in our lives. It means that we're actually strong. For a rose to continually bloom, it's a sign of strength, as well as love. So,
yeah, beautiful. I received a rose too.
I'm not surprised.
Right? Yeah,
I'm not
very, very
surprised.
beautiful. And of course, Archangel Cassiel said, face fear and rise. So we can feel what we want to feel is an elevation of our vibration. Because essentially, in the end, it's all about vibration and wanting to be in that place where there's so much to appreciate. So again, I want to thank all of these beings. There's so many who volunteered to be with us today. We have Cassiel and Serenity and Archangel Michael and Metatron and Saint Germain and more. I know there were many more. Each of you having your own angels with you, and guides and teachers. It's one of those times when I feel like I don't want to leave. And yet I know really the ultimate goal is to bring that strength of spirit back into the reality that we're living in on the earth. So with that, we can say goodbye and know our spiritual path is always there. We can always come back to it. And just imagine now flowing through that beautiful mist again, beyond time and space, settling back into your seat where you are now. And breathing, taking a few nice active breaths. And grounding your body to the earth, feeling your feet firmly on the ground. And thanking Mother Earth also for supporting us so beautifully and with such love. And then when you're ready, you can open your eyes. Oh, I went backwards because one of the dogs wanted to get in my lap. I was asking, why am I back here? Well, that felt good to me.
Absolutely. So you received a rose too?
That's
beautiful.
Yeah. A very, very vibrantly sparkling rose.
Yeah, I just saw one just continuously blooming, just from a bud to a full blossom, just continuously. It was really beautiful.
Yeah, that's beautiful.
Yeah.
So did you feel that you were able to do any ancestral clearing?
Yeah, I think it was actually more of a like more scenes about my throat chakra and a lifetime where I was oppressed, really just for being female.
Right. Yeah.
It
Same old story.
Same old story. It felt old though. It felt like maybe the 1400s, and I was in a dark forest, and moving forward, I was walking out of this forest on this beautiful path that was very clean and pristine. All of the obstacles had been blown away like leaves in the wind, so it was really beautiful. It was a beautiful experience.
Wonderful.
But I have some more clarity too as to, you know.
Right, and that's good too. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I could just see, as I suggested, I could just see all of these different times passing as I was moving back, and then just all of the light clearing moving forward, and it feels really good. Sharon says, ah. And Bab said, this is so beautiful. Thank you.
Oh.
So, yeah. It does feel good.
Absolutely. That's nice. I feel very light right now.
Me too.
Yeah.
I'm also in one of those places where I'm not feeling like there's anything else I could say that would add to it.
It's a beautiful way to end it, right?
Right. Yeah.
Right.
Did you have any other insights or?
No, I think it's just a beautiful reminder to, remind ourselves that we have that beautiful rose within us. We have that divinity within us, and at times when we don't feel worthy of carrying it, we're still carrying it. It's it never leaves us. It never stops blooming. It's always there for us. So it just feels like a reminder for everyone. Remember your divinity. Let your light shine.
Yeah, yeah. It's kind of like well, there's the saying with gratitude, which is of course very much the same. That if you're grateful, then you will receive more things to be grateful for.
Right.
I think with appreciation, if you can appreciate what life has given you, and all of these things from your ancestors going back however long into the past, if you can appreciate the experiences and what you've gained from them, how you've grown from them, that's what creates magic in life, I think.
Right. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. Okay, so so Gretchen, would you like to tell people how they can find out more about what you're doing? Maybe what you can tell us what you're doing too, if you want.
Yes, thank you. Actually, I just published one of my first ebooks. It's called The Radiant Soul. It's a practical guide for spiritual seekers, and it's all about practical spiritual self-care. It's a short little book. It's an ebook, so it's a download, just $5. You can find that on my website, spiraljourney.net. And I love to connect with people. I am a holistic coach and energy healing practitioner, and along with a lot of other things. And I love connecting with people, and I love reminding them how divine they are, how amazing they already are. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, anybody wants to
Right.
reach out, feel free. You
Mm-hmm.
can also find me on Facebook at Gretchen Comer or Spiral Journey Holistic Life Services. I'm also on Instagram. So yeah, love to connect.
Wonderful. And you do readings too, don't you?
I do. Yeah, I do.
Yeah.
I
Yeah. Readings,
yeah.
I think, as you might notice, we use readings, oracle readings quite a bit, tarot readings. Um, and we have found they can enhance life in really magical ways and surprisingly mystical ways.
Wow.
So if you're interested in that, Gretchen's available for that too. And for Awakenings Institute, the nonprofit organization that is sponsoring the circle, we offer a free resource kit for light workers, spiritual healers, way showers, and spiritual whatever, anyone who's interested, that you can access. I'm going to give you a tiny URL which take you to our website, and there's a lot more there, a lot there. tinyurl.com/spiritual kit. We also have created a book called The Solution, Make a Difference and Change the World with the Power of Love, that you can access at tinyurl.com/444-solution. And that is a free book that we encourage people to share with your friends and neighbors, especially people who may not think of these things as being valid to them and don't recognize that love is so great for everything. It's a good book, I think.
It's wonderful.
It's good for that. Yeah.
It's a wonderful book.
It provides a lot of proof, spiritually, scientifically, just experientially, for why the power of love is what it is. So we also invite you to support the circle. We certainly appreciate you being here. You can follow our page on Facebook, facebook.com/awakenings circle. And we have a buddy here who wants to say hi before I go. There he is. You can share, if you're on Facebook, share the video with your friends. You can just get it out further. And it's all about love, really. And invite your friends to join you in the circle. So the final thing that we do, we already did, we did this in a way, just send that love and light forward to the coming week and make it a wonderful one. Again, thank you for being with us. Oh, and happy Thanksgiving in the United States.
Happy Thanksgiving, everyone.
And we'll see you next time.
Bye.
Bye-bye. Buddy's going to kiss me.